All right, so before we add the base skeleton HTML file and inherit it from our other files, I just want to showcase an example of why we would actually want to do this. So right now we have our home page here, and there's no way to get from the home page to the about page, so we want to add some kind of navigation. So above the H1, we can just add a div tag, and then in there, 2 A tags to link to the different pages. So we'll have one that goes to the Fave Movies page, which will be the home route, and we'll have one that goes to /about. That will be the about page. Perfect. So we have these that are rendering, and make sure your server's running, and if we go back to our web page and click refresh, we see them up here. And now we can go to our about page, but the navigation is gone. So we'd have to copy over that same navigation and paste it on this about page. And now what if we had 10 pages, 20 pages? We would have to update this and copy paste it onto every page. That would be a lot of repetition. And in programming, there's this principle of dry, do not repeat yourself, where you want to have everything kind of configured from one item. You don't want to be repeating yourself. So to do that, we would use template inheritance and create a base skeleton. But before we do that, I want to touch about one more concept within Django, and that is these URLs and these hrefs. Right now, we're hard coding in where we want these links to go. But what if down the road we want to change this about page for whatever reason, could be SEO reasons or something, to about-me? That means we would have to go through everywhere on the whole website that it links to the about page and update this tag, update this href to about-me. That would probably take a long time and we would make a lot of mistakes. So there's another setting that we can make in our urls.py. So if we go to our project urls.py, in our path, it takes another argument. And we could specify something called the name. That's a string. So we could say name equals, and then whatever we pass here will be the name for this path. And so anytime we want to reference this path, in this case, this home path, we can just use this name instead of using the actual URL route. So we can call this home, and we could make another one for our about page. So we could say name equals, we could say about. And so now this name will never change. And if we want to change the path to about me or about us, if it's a business or something, we can freely do that, and we don't have to change everything else. And to use these in our templates, if we go back to our index, here we just use another tag. So we open up a tag within this href and specify URL, and then in a string we pass in the name. So we called this about. This name right here comes from our urls.py name. So it'll see, okay, use this URL that has name about and uses this path, this actual URL. And we could do the same thing for our Fave Movies. We called this home. So we say, open up a tag, URL, in a string pass the name, home, and then close the tag. And now just to make sure that this works, we can go back to our site, refresh it, and we can still navigate to our different pages. But now let's actually make this a separate file, and we can inherit from it in these files. So we can go to movies, our movies directory under templates, go new file, and I like to call this underscore base.html. And typically if a variable or anything has an underscore in front of it, it just means it's kind of a config file. In this case, this is our layout skeleton. We can just open up an HTML file. We can open up the body tag. We could say that at the top of the body tag, we want to paste in this navigation. So we can cut this out, go back and paste this in. And then right below that is where we want to display whatever should be displayed on the page. In this case, this list of Fave Movies. In the About page, it's the I Like Action Movies, the About You. So to do that, we open up a block. So we open up a tag, and we say block, and then we name it whatever we want to name it, content. And then with these tags, we have to pass the closing tag. So we say end block, and perfect. So now this page can act as a template, be inherited, and have information injected into it. So let's do that with the index page. So we don't have the navigation in here anymore. Let's just go see that in the browser. So now we have no more navigation. If we go back, and at the very top, we have to load the template that we want to inherit from. So we say extend, we open up a tag, and then we paste in the route to this template, movies/_base.html. So now if we go back and refresh the page, we get invalid block tag, extends. That's because I misspelled that. So let's see if we get extends, it should work. And you see we get this navigation. So basically we're getting right now this base.html page. We're getting this navigation. But we're not getting anything for block content. And that's because it doesn't know what to show here. So in our index.html page, we have to wrap whatever we want to basically inject into that block. We have to wrap it in a tag. So we want to say here, open up a tag and say block content. So this will be the block content. And then we have to close that tag where we want to stop injecting that information. So now we're saying extend movies/_base.html. So basically show that base.html file. And then this is the block content that will be injected into this block content right here. So save this, and if we go back and refresh it now, boom, we get basically what we had before, but we have the navigation and the content. But now we can do the same exact thing for our about page. So we can come back up to the top, and again, open up a tag, say extends, let's spell it right this time, movies/_base.html. So this loads in that base.html file. And then right here under HTML, we want to open up another tag and call this block content. And then end that block. So now if we go back to our site, we can go to the about page, and boom, we see this navigation. So we can go between our pages freely. Amazing. So this is template inheritance. It's a super powerful, can be complex topic, but hopefully as we continue to dive in these sections and use it, you'll be able to wrap your head around it more easily.